Bonjour everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Waves of Your Soul. Today's video is gonna be a good old-fashioned haul. I'm gonna be sharing with you everything that I got in the last 3 months, so that's including Christmas gifts from my friends, from my family, Christmas gifts from me to me. I love to do that. I have a moon in Taurus, so I love gifting myself things. I also have decks that I have ordered months and months ago that I finally decided to arrive. I'm gonna be talking about indie decks, mass market decks, English decks, French decks. I have a couple of books that I'll start with, but then after that it's decks galore. So grab yourself a drink, get yourself cozy, and I hope you'll enjoy this epic tarot and oracle deck haul. I know hauls are not for everybody, so if this type of content makes you feel any type of way, then feel free to click off the video right now. I've got plenty of videos on my channel that are not hauls, but I know a lot of you enjoy them. I love watching them, so that's why I decided to share with you everything that I got in the last 3 months. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Marine. I'm a French tarot reader and a lover of everything tarot and oracle related. You're gonna see that today I have a problem. I am over the top. I am too much. You don't need to tell me, I know that already. If you'd like to see any more, don't hesitate to subscribe. You can find all of my social media linked down below. In the description box you will also find the names of all of the decks I'm mentioning, so if you're ever unsure about what I'm talking about, it's gonna be in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get into my end of year / beginning of this year deck haul. Books. I've got 2 books I want to mention. The first one is a book depository order I made months ago that decided to finally show up. Received it only a few days ago, even though I've ordered it months and months ago. Sometimes it is what it is. I live in a very little island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, so things can take months to arrive, and that's why I like to do those hauls every so often, because usually when a ship cargo arrives here, all of my decks come, whether there's decks from 2022, 2021, beginning of the year, end of the year, it could all be grouped together and I get them at once. So The Web of Meaning by Jeremy Lent, and it's called Integrating Science and Traditional Wisdom to Find Our Place in the Universe. I can't tell you if it's good or not because I've not read it yet, but something about it intrigued me, so that's why I decided to get it. It says here, author investigates humanity's age-old questions. Who am I? Why am I? How should I live? Those are all very good questions, Jeremy. I ask those myself on a daily basis. And then it says, from a fresh perspective, weaving together findings from modern thinkings, evolutionary biology, and cognitive neuroscience with insights from Buddhism, Taoism, and indigenous wisdom. So it's all about weaving ecology, philosophy, and like thinking of a new way, a new philosophical framework to look at humanity, our place on Earth, etc. My favorite books of last year was Belonging by Tokopa Turner, and this was recommended as like if you like belonging, you might like this, so I'll let you know if I like it or not, but I was curious. The second book I want to mention is this one that one of my friends got me for Christmas, and I've only received their parcel like again a couple of days ago when all the parcels arrived. Super excited, first because it's an English book and I love getting books in English because I can't get them here. I can get them obviously on my Kindle. Here being a French island, the only books I'm finding right now are French books, and I lived in the UK for over 8 years, almost 9, and I lived in America before that, so I love reading in English, and it's nice to have a physical book in English. So for that already I was like super excited. I think it's a fantasy book, to be honest. I've never heard of it, but I mean, it's saying that it's like alongside his Dark Material, which is one of my favorite series of all times that I read when I was younger. A Murder, a Library with an Ancient Secrets. And then at the back there's mention of Norse gods and Merlin and magic and all of that supernatural magic stuff like that, demons, gods. I love all of that. So if there's any kind of like magics and gods and mythology, like sign me up. I'm here, take me with you. I've packed my bag, let's go. So I'm super excited about this. If any of you have read this, let me know what you saw, what you're thinking, is it good or not. Like I said, I'd never heard of it, but my friend got this for me, so I'm excited to give it a go. Okay, enough about books. Let's get into decks, because there's a mountain of decks. I'm not even joking. It's slightly looming over my side like the Peace Tower, and I'm worried I'm gonna get buried underneath before the end of this video. Okay, let's start with the decks I've had the longest. So it's been a good like at least 2.5 months of me using them and playing with them. So those decks I'm gonna show you now, they're not first impressions. I've actually already used them and they're not new, but I still wanted to share because I've not shown them on my channel yet. In November, my dad went to France, to mainland France, to visit some family members. Whenever there's someone who goes to Europe from here, this is an event that nobody wants to miss. Everybody does their shopping list. We don't have Amazon here. We don't have H&M or Zara or any of those mainland shops. We don't have IKEA. All of the shops that you would consider normal, we don't have them. Whenever someone travels to Europe, it's like a big event and suddenly the whole family is like giving them a shopping list. My shopping list usually consists of decks, obviously, chocolate and skincare. That's kind of like generally what I ask to be brought back. All I'm saying is in November I actually could order some decks to be sent to France that my dad could bring back. That saved me so much money in shipping and also time, because otherwise it would not even sure it would have arrived in Réunion. Some of them they didn't even deliver here, or shipping was super expensive, so I make the most of it and I ordered for myself a couple of decks I wanted. The first one is something that actually I may probably could find here or order here, but it was just easier because it was there already, and it's called Le Tarot de Django, and it's a little French mass market deck. I think this retails for 14 or 15 euros, which is one of the cheapest tarot decks I've ever seen, to be honest, and I adore this deck so much. So this is part of a whole collection called the collection Soul Shadow, and Soul Shadow Tarot is a YouTube channel in French. She's a tarot reader. She does tarot videos like pick a card readings, but also like vlogs about famous cartomancy historical figures. Like, her channel is awesome. If you speak French, you should definitely check her out. I'm gonna link her channel below. I love what she does, and I have a few of her decks, and this one, when it came out, I really wanted it because it's like tarot made easy, and sometimes that's exactly what I need. Sometimes I need a deck that's gonna be super straight to the point, simple, and not gonna give me a headache. So the box is small, we love that. It fits in your bag. The box looks like this. It comes with a ton of extra cards. There are a lot of cool readings here. There's keywords for each of the cards in French, but it's tarot deck, so if any of you read tarot already, you won't have any issues reading with this. The images are super simple, but it's like super clever, and I think that sometimes simple things are underrated. What I mean is sometimes simple things doesn't mean it's less powerful or less potent, and in this case I really find this deck super direct. This is a sharpshooter, this is a sniper. It's gonna tell you straight away what you need to know, and it's no frills, no fluff, right? It's like one of those, you're at a coffee shop, your friends wants a reading, bam bam bam, you pull the cards, you've got it, let's go, let's move on. I actually have used this deck a lot since I've received it in November. I've read for my friends with it, and I've read for myself with it, and it works. So as you can see, the drawings are very comic book style. I like that. Like in French we call them bande dessinée, BD. I really enjoy those type of artwork. The borders colors are slightly different. So for the mages they are yellow, then wands are oranges, pentacles are greens, swords are blue, and I think red is cups. And as you can see, it's literally one title and one drawing, that's it. So here we have the Hangman, here we have the Six of Wands, here we have the Three of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Wands with boss, world's best boss. Everything is just super clever. It's like if you distill the essence of each tarot archetype and you put it in one single image, that's what it would be. This is the Three of Pentacles, this is the Five of Swords, the King of Swords, the Nine of Swords. Here we have the Ten of Wands. So I really enjoy the fact that it's super simple, super pared down, and this is called the Tarot Django, and you're gonna see some influences from the south of France / Spain, because the author, I believe, inspired herself from her childhood. For example, the Empress is the Black Madonna. It's a very important figure in the south of France, in Spain, etc. Like the Nine of Pentacles is someone playing the guitar, kind of like, again, you see those Southern Europe inspiration here. Obviously, I'll present it in more depth in my French deck series, and I'm going to continue where I introduce all of my French decks. But this is one that I think is accessible to everybody because it's affordable, because it's like small, it's easy, it's compact, it's mass market, and it's a tarot deck. So even though it's in French, if you know the tarot system, you're gonna be fine. Let's move on to a mistake that turned out to be one of the best mistakes I've done in my life. So when my dad was in France, one of the things I ordered was the Bad Girl Oracle. It's an oracle deck I've been wanting for years. It's been on my wish list for years. And when he arrived here and I opened the order, it was not the shop that I bought it from didn't pack me the Bad Girl Oracle, they packed the Bad Girl Tarot deck. And I was so disappointed because, like I said, the Bad Girl Oracle is the deck I wanted, not the Tarot. But I've spoken to them actually, and they were like super sorry about their mistakes, and they're actually gonna send me the Oracle deck. When I do get the Oracle deck, I will of course show it to you because I'm so excited. But this was not what I had ordered, and yet I have been loving it so much that now I'm thinking maybe it was fate. As you can see, the box is already beat up because this was my most used decks of December. Fell head over heels for this cheeky literally this cheeky, the little deck that is facetious, that is powerful, that is fun, vibrant, giving a big F off to the patriarchal society. It's a celebration of femininity, and it's just so much fun. It's like, I didn't expect to love this deck that much because, like I said, I had watched walkthroughs of the Tarot and the Oracle, and I really wanted the Oracle because the Oracle uses archetypes that are very unique, and I didn't have anything like that in my library. The Tarot I wasn't so sure because even though I enjoyed it, I felt like maybe this is something I already have, right? Like I do have quite a few decks that are modern and that are cheeky like that and fun and vibrant, but actually I don't have anything like that, and the voice this has is so unique. It's definitely something that it's hugely a good mood deck. It's definitely a celebration of being a babe, being a bad girl, being like that bitch. There's just a lot of empowerment in this deck, truly. So if you are wanting to work with that side of yourself that needs a little bit of fire, needs a little bit of confidence, needs a little bit of badass attitude, then this is the deck for you, honestly. And I've truly enjoyed it so much. It's been my favorite deck used in December. There are some cards there that were so loudly speaking to me. Like I pulled this card so many times in December, which was around a time when I was going to the ocean quite a lot, and it felt super healing because I was just coming out of COVID at the end of December, and the universe was like, get your ass in the ocean, girl. And I did, and it was wonderful, and it was what I needed. So the Bad Girl Tarot, it's not what I wanted, but it's what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it, but I did. And I love actually when that happens. You know, sometimes mistakes are not mistakes, and who am I to contradict the tarot gods who decided that this is what the girl deck I needed? They obviously know better. Oh, this is indie, by the way. I should have said that, and I'll leave the name of the artist down below. Let's move on to another deck I've been using constantly since I've received it in November. This is the Summer Holiday by Destiny. Now, this was a pre-order for the first run of the deck. I've got number 437 out of 1,000, but with Destiny decks, usually they print the first batch and then they reprint. So I ordered this through Oracle, who is a French tarot reader, French like tarot Instagrammer and stuff. She does tarot classes and stuff, and she has this kind of like, she works with Destiny, who are based in Thailand, to bring back decks in batches to France so that it's cheaper for people to do group shipping. And obviously, because my dad was in France, I made the most of that. It was just falling at the right time. It was perfect. So first of all, can we talk about the cover? I mean, this is a mood. This is how I want to live my life. It's supposed to be a summer deck, but for me it's an everyday deck because of where I live, etc. If you don't know Destiny, they always come with so many extra cards. So we have a thank you. This was part of a project where you have one deck per season. So this one is a summer, but they did a spring, autumn and winter one. We have a certificate, we have like a quote, and we have fake flight tickets. There's just a lot of fun cards. And then the backs are actually a little bit different. As you can see, they're all sea inspired, but none of them are the same, and I love that. Actually, I think it's super fun. The edgings are super beautiful, this coppery shiny glitter, but it's actually super nice edging, because I don't know if you have Destiny decks, you know this type of edging, for me anyway, it doesn't chip and it doesn't leave your fingers feeling like you bitch slap a unicorn. The edging stays on the edges, and I like that. I think it's nice because sometimes with some edging you end up having glitter all over your finger. It's everything my inner child could ever ask for. This is just, it's gonna be super personal. A lot of you are gonna look at this and gonna be like, meh, not for me. Especially if you live somewhere that's super wintry, or if you don't like summer, that's not gonna be the decks for you. But for me, look at this desk card. Oh my god, I feel like every time I use this deck I feel like I'm back to being 5. And I'm not mad about it. I grew up on a tropical island, I'm back here now, so of course this speaks to my inner child. This Knight of Cups, I love them so much. I mean, cups are coconuts, pentacles are big coins with the sun in it, swords are fishing rods, and the wands are the things that you use in a canoe. I don't know, I forgot the name now. The rowing thingy is the rowing thingy. You know what I mean. We'll get to it. So everything is based on this holiday, summery, tropical vibe mood. I can't fault it. Like, this is everything my little ocean lover, tropical lover heart could ever want. The colors are wonderful, the people are wonderful. This chariot is my favorite chariot ever because it just reminds me of my dad. He loves windsurfing. This is it. The wands are this. What do you call that? Let me know in the comments because I forgot, but I think it's super clever. It's very on brand for the theme. It's an RWS deck. There's no surprise there. Nothing is like hugely innovative or new or different, but the theming and the place and the landscape and the people I love. And I will say that for the Destiny deck, it's the first Destiny deck I've seen anyway where there was people with such different skin tones represented. So I thought that was really nice, and I'm so happy that this is the case for Island deck, because if it was an Island deck full of white people, that would have been very disappointing. Let's wrap up the decks I bought myself and then we'll move on to Christmas and stuff like that. Here's a deck I've been waiting since August 2022. I ordered this in August from the UK, directly from the artist. It's called the Joe Sparrow Tarot. It's one of those decks that I completely found at random when I was scrolling the internet. I think it was on Instagram, and I was literally saw 2 pictures and I was like, I need this. Where can I find this? Obsessively googling it, finding it and ordering it. There was no decision timing, which normally doesn't happen. I usually watch a flip through at least or something, but it was just like one of those, it was instant. Something in my heart was like, you need this, this is so you. So it was a very impromptu purchase, which doesn't happen, like I was saying, a lot. Normally I do my research, and I ordered directly from the artist. I'll leave his website down below, from the UK. 6-7 months, whatever, a long time, but it was everything I wanted and it was worth the wait. Let me tell you that. So it comes in a tuck box. It doesn't come with a guidebook or anything like that. Here are the backs. Honestly, you don't need a guidebook because it's very RWS inspired. It's very easy to read, and this artwork is super unique and super, I mean, I love it. I think it's super enchanting, super charming, but again, it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea because it looks very maybe childlike or comic book like or something. There's something about it that makes me think of childhood, that makes me think of whimsy and magic, and I love those kind of decks. So for me it was a no-brainer. Like I said, when I saw this particular those particular drawings, I was instantly charmed. Like, it charmed the pants out of me. So as you can see, for each card you have the number here, and then you have the symbol here. So this symbol is for pentacles. We have cups for cups. It's very easy, honestly, and yet, even though it's inspired by the RWS and it follows the RWS, etc., there's definitely so much personality in this deck that makes it stand out from your stereotypical RWS deck. The Seven of Pentacles, for example, super clever, I think. So this Ten of Swords, for example, I think it's quite gut punching, and it's quite it's a very clever choice, but it definitely doesn't leave you feeling indifferent. The Nine of Wands, I think, is so powerful. There's something here that makes me think of cartoon, but there's so much personality in this deck. That's what I love about it, that even though it's an RWS, it still feels like something different, something unique. It brings something new to the table. And you can tell that the person who created this deck understands tarot, which I very much appreciate, because sometimes artists create tarot decks because they like the idea of having 78 pieces of their art, and that's awesome, but if you can't read with it, it's a shame, right? This one, it's a perfectly great tarot deck, and it is so cheeky slash a little bit mean to read with. At least that's been my experience. And I was talking to Inky Swords Tarot here on YouTube and on Instagram, and she was telling me that it's the same for her as well. A little bit like, why are you trying to come for me so hard? But I can't be mad at you because you look so cute. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this deck. It feels like it's gonna hurt your feelings, but you want more of it because it looks so cute. This has been my main deck for January. Even though, like I said, I was on a little bit of a tarot break in January, I was feeling a bit just not that inspired. This renewed my... It was the spark I needed to be like, okay, you know what? I do want to read for myself again. I do want to pull out my card, and I'm very grateful for it. Let's move on to a deck that is very, very out of print. So before I start showing you and all of that, I want to preface this by saying this is very out of print. Normally it's super expensive, so if you fall in love with it, I would rather give you that warning. Just so you know, it's a deck that you can find on eBay. There's a lot of them that show up, but people ask crazy amount of prices. But this was the best deal I ever got in my life in terms of out of print decks, and that's thanks to my beautiful friends. The deck is called Tarot Balbi. This is a Spanish pip deck. This particular copy is older than me. It's from the I think like early 80s. As you can see, it's seen some use, and I could never afford Tarot Balbi. One of my best friends is Spanish, and she actually came to visit me at Christmas, and it was so nice. We had such a lovely time. And last year, it was around the middle of the year, she was telling me about this website. I'll flip through the deck while I give you the story. So this is what the backs look like, and as you're gonna see, it's a Spanish deck that is a bit pipish, but it's super colorful. It's wonderful. I really adore how vibrant and colorful it is. But way before in the year, at mid-year, she was telling me about this website, kind of like Vinted, where she was selling like her shoes and secondhand clothes and stuff like that. She was like, oh, why don't you have a look and see if they have tarot decks? So I go on there and I have a look, like typing tarot decks, and I see the usual mass market decks, etc. And then I start seeing this particular deck, and the person who was asking for this was asking 30 euros, and I think with the shipping it was like 35. So 35 euros to buy this deck instead of like the 200, 300, 400 I had seen. Obviously, I instantly bought it. Messaged her like, you won't actually believe what I found. Like, I actually found on this website you sent me a tarot deck that I'd been looking for years. She kept this deck for me most of the year, and she brought it back at Christmas because she came to visit me. And look at it. It's wonderful. It's everything I wanted. Put it back in order because I've cleansed it and I've put it back in order and everything. And it's a pip deck, but it's a pip deck that's giving personality. And if you know me, you know that pip decks are not normally my favorite kind of decks. I'm very picky, and I love the Estrella Tarot as a Marseille, and now this is my second favorite. Like, those two are everything I want in a pip deck, in a Marseille type deck. This is one of those I never thought I would cross off my wish list. Like, it was sitting there for years, and I just, I had accepted the fact that it was one of those decks I could look at but never own. And then thanks to my wonderful friend and her intuition, I found it for like the best deal ever. So sometimes you just have to trust that decks will come when they're meant to. I need to make a pouch for it because this is terrible. I know people are gonna be dying looking at me put a cheap elastic wrap around a very out of print deck. Like, I can hear you shout at me. Don't shout at me, please don't cancel me. I swear I'll make a pouch for it, okay? Let's move on to presents. We have Christmas presents and also presents from lovely YouTube friends. At the end of the year, I received 2 parcels from tarot friends that I made through this channel, and I never thought that this would be something that happens to me. You know, when you watch people's videos on YouTube and they say like, oh, I made a friend on thanks to my YouTube channel and now we're exchanging stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice, but I don't know if that will ever happen to me. And actually it did, and I've made such wonderful friends through this channel, so thank you so much to all of you who watch, who comment, and with who I exchange through DMs and stuff or emails. It feels so nice to have such a lovely community that we can exchange and we can chat, and honestly you feel like my friends. I feel like I'm talking to friends, so thank you so much for that. But I want to also say a huge thank you first of all to my lovely dear friend Gigi, who kindly sent me her copy of the Lioness Tarot Oracle, which is a deck I've been wanting. Gigi knew that I wanted to get this deck, and she was like, you know what, instead of buying it, I will send you my copy, which was so generous of her, because this is a beautiful indie deck. This is by Alejandra Leon, and so this is an indie deck. This is my Leo deck, and this is everything I thought it would be and more, and I love it so much, and I'm just feeling so grateful to Gigi for sending this to me. So thank you so much, Gigi, if you're watching. You are an absolute ray of sunshine, and I'm sending you so much love, and thank you for just bringing so much happiness to me, because this feels so special. So if you don't know this particular deck, it's called the Lioness Oracle Tarot, but it's a tarot and it's a collage style deck, and it is my absolute dream Leo deck. This is giving huge Leo energy, and I have Leo rising, so I love Leo energy anyway, and I have a lot of fire in my chart, so that particular kind of energy, it just really resonates with my soul. On top of that, if you don't know from watching my other videos, I do have a very soft spot for collage decks. I love them. I think they are wonderful. This art style is one of those that it just does something to me. Look at the 7 of Swords. It's genius. I love that so much. The moon really can come and mess us up, right? And some days I wake up and I cry and I'm like, where is the moon? What is she doing? Is she full? Is she waning? What sign is she in? It's like always blaming the moon for my problems. But sometimes it's her fault though. The 8 of Swords is brilliant. There's just everything about this deck. It feels very intentional, and on top of that, of course, it's gorgeous. I mean, all of the backs are kind of this cosmic vibes. There's a lot of feline. There's a mix of like animals and landscapes, and there's a lot of roses here. It's just, it's beautiful. And I've been loving it so much. Along with the Bad Girl Tarot, this was also my main deck for December. If you're in the market for a tarot deck that is collage, but that's not gonna be too overwhelming, because you know I love my Telesma Tarot. The Telesma Tarot, it was one of my top decks of 2022. If you've not watched that video, I'll leave the link somewhere up in the cards. I ranked my favorite decks that I got last year. The Telesma Tarot is one of those collage decks I love, but it's very busy. This feels like the more pared down, more subtle, more more pared down version, but still it packs a punch, and it's full of fiery energy. Like I said, it's giving Leo vibes. It's also giving Libra vibes from all the beautiful roses and everything. It's giving beauty, abundance, Venus. It's very Venusian, I think, this deck. Page of Cups is so sweet. I love the little seahorse on it, so I'm so happy that I own this. I'm so grateful, and again, Gigi, thank you so much. Let's move on to another very generous gift from another friend I made here through YouTube. Her channel is called Semplicemente SE. Is based in Italy. She's my friend on YouTube. She has a wonderful channel where she does tarot videos, pick a card readings. She's super active on YouTube, and if you speak Italian, you definitely need to check her out. I also try sometimes to watch her videos, even though I don't speak Italian. With French and Spanish, I can kind of pick some bits, and she's just wonderful, especially her creativity when it comes to doing readings and stuff. So definitely check her out. I will leave the link to her YouTube channel below. But along the years since I've started my channel, we've started to exchange, and she's just become a friend, and I'm so grateful. Very generously offered to send me some Italian decks, and I've sent her some French decks. It was so nice to receive decks in another language. So first off, I want to talk about those two playing cards deck. I love playing cards, and I especially love playing cards that are from another country, and this is something that's on my 2023 checklist, is that I want to learn how to read playing cards. So I've actually subscribed to a course by a French person that teaches traditional playing cards, but you know, more like the French style with the 3 of clubs and all of that. Those are traditional Italian playing cards, and they're nothing like what I've seen before, and I find them so fascinating because first of all, they go from the 1st to the 7th, and then the court cards, there's 3 of them, but they are different from your traditional. In French we have valet, reine, roi, so like jack, queen and king, but here we have a jack, a knight and a king, and then in the other ones it seems like we have a queen, but not all of them, or the figures are quite androgynous. It's just like, look here for the pentacle, this could be a queen, right? Or it could be an androgynous person, I don't know. This feels like a knight, and I guess this is a king, I don't know. I need to like study, but I find those little cards so fascinating because they're so different from the playing cards that we would get in France. I'm just gonna show you quickly now. This is a game Jeu de Tarot Français. This is the kind of deck you can get in France for like €5. This is my dad's actually. It's from the 80s or the 70s, and he used to play cards with this, and I stole it from him because now this is why it's so beat up, because he spent many a night playing cards with this, but I stole it from him now to use it to learn how to read playing cards. But this is more the traditional one that we would have in France with those 3 court cards, and also Tarot Français, we have those ones that are very particular to France with like images of we have scenes that are reversed. So it's called Jeu de Tarot, and it's to actually play games, but I've never seen playing cards that looks like this, that looks the one that my friend in Italy sent me, and she was saying that they are from 2 different places. This one is from Trevisani and this one is from Sicily, and they're different, and I guess it depends which region you go. In Italy you're gonna get different playing cards. There's a huge history of playing cards and tarot decks and all of that in Italy, and looking at this you can see it's very different, those ones, from the ones that were from Trevisani, another region. So I just find that so interesting that different region would have different playing cards, and it really makes me want to study, to learn. Let me know if you have any English resources that I could use to study Italian playing cards, because I find that so fascinating. Like I found obviously a lot of resources on how to read playing cards, the traditional one that you use in English, and the French one that have the added scenery, but I am finding Italian playing cards so fascinating. So thank you so much to you, my friend, for sending this to me. She also very generously sent me this oracle deck that's called l'Oracolo delle Porte. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm trying. Apparently this was her first oracle deck, and it's all doors. And I love the idea of doors that take you as a portal. So every single card represents a different doors. Porte, in French it's porte, it's the same word for doors. So every card is a door, it's the oracle of doors, and it's like a portal to take you something. So here we have the portal of the fire, the door of water, the door of earth, the door of the sky, the guardian of the door of the sun, the door of the moon, the open door, the door of the garden, the heavens door, the fake door, I'm guessing. Is that falsa? Is it fake? I don't speak Italian again, so I'm just going off my French and Spanish knowledge, because we're all Latin language, so sometimes it makes it easier to understand when you have those 2 languages to start with. I'm thinking this is the lock card, is a door, and I love the artwork. I love the idea of having a door for each card because you could use them for oracle reading, and the guidebook looks epic, and I can't wait to use Google Translate and get into it because it just looks so interesting. Like every card you have a lot in, say you have a description, you have the symbology, you have keywords, and then you have like what it means if you pull this door, and also I think you have reverse meaning as well. There's just so much that's gone into this deck, and she said it was her first oracle and she really enjoys it, and I think there's so much you could do with it. Even the backs are wonderful. I think you could use this for helping people to pick a card, for example, like choose a door and that's where your reading is, or even as for magical ritual, like maybe you want to invite something in your life, you could use that door to invite those energies. I'm just feeling very inspired by this, and I haven't even read the guidebook yet and I still already feel super inspired. So thank you so much. I already can think of a ton of stuff I could use this with, and of course I'm super excited again to use a deck that's not in my culture, not in my language. I find that there's something so enjoyable about discovering a deck in another culture. It opens your mind, you learn something new, it expands your vision, and because she's just super generous and the best, she also sent me her copy of it's called the Ghost Tarot in English. In Italian it's called Tarocchi del Fantasmi. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. She said she wasn't feeling super bonded with it, so she thought maybe I would enjoy it. And honestly, I've never seen this deck anywhere before, but I love it. I flipped through it already. I've done a couple of readings for myself, like quick readings, and it is bang on. There's something about this very high fantasy, like it kind of looks like old school fantasy print. With that very high contrast, luminous drawings and stuff that I love because it speaks to my younger self that used to love those fantasy things that we would see like in the 2000s. Like this is giving me very 2000s fantasy video games, and I'm here for it. I love that. So obviously Tarot of the Ghosts, on every card you're gonna see a ghostly figure, and like I said, I've only done a couple of readings with this because I didn't get the parcel too long ago, and I'm already thinking of lots of different ways I could use this. Like the ghost could represent your past regrets, things that you need to let go, things in your past that are still bothering you. You could read the ghost obviously as loved ones that have passed, or maybe past life readings. But for me, when I read this, I was really getting the idea of my ghost self, like parts of my life that are ghost-like, that I need to let go, be in peace. So I think for those particular type of readings, it could be wonderful. But again, for past life readings or talking, or spirit readings, I think this would be wonderful too. There's just something so charming about this particular art style, and I've never seen it before. I love the backs, so I'm super excited to continue using this. Just so interesting, right? Like sometimes someone doesn't resonate with a deck and you pass it on to someone else and they love it, such as is the case for me with this one. So thank you so much, my darling. If you're watching this, I'm sending you so much love, so much hugs. I feel so grateful, and I hope that you will enjoy the little decks I've sent you as well. Let's move on to Christmas. I've got a few decks to share at Christmas. First one is part of the same family as the Tarot Django that I've showed right at the beginning of the video. My dad surprised me with this for Christmas. He picked it up after he saw what I had ordered. Like I said, this particular creator, she did a whole collection. I already have now I have the tarot. I have this one that I've shown before, l'Oracle de Lucie, which is the kind of oracle deck that you can use for everything. It's very predictive, every day, it's wonderful. I've shown it a lot on my channel already, and it's gonna be in my French deck series if it's not already been there. Shown, it will very soon. So he picked this one up for me when he realized that I enjoyed the collection from this creator, and this is called Les Amours de Marlowe. As you can see, it's in the similar box as the other one, that kind of like cigarette style box. Mine took a bit of a beating because he put it back in his suitcase, but I don't care, to be honest. It's doing the job. This is a love deck, which I don't have any love decks in terms of oracle. This is my first oracle deck that's dedicated to love. I do have one love tarot deck, which is the Modern Love Tarot by Esseny. I love that so much, but it's nice to have a little love oracle deck. So same creator, Yena from Soul Shadow. Again, I leave the link to her YouTube channel below. She's wonderful. I love what she does. And you have keywords, so even though this is all in French, it's gonna be super easy to understand, I think, because the keywords are straight to the point, and the aesthetic of it is again very simple, very pared down. So I feel like even if though it's in French, you could very easily use it in English, because it's just one of those that you understand what's going on purely from the image. The backs are really cute. It's a very small format, so for all of my peeps with smaller hands, it's gonna be wonderful for you to shuffle. And as you can see, it's just one image, one keyword. What I love is that it's for love, but you don't have to use it only for a romantic relationship. You could use it for self-love, for friendships, for family. Like, I feel like love doesn't necessarily mean your significant other, so this is very versatile. And for me, I was very surprised that my dad got me that, because I didn't even really pay attention to this particular deck when it came out. I was focused on the tarot, which I got, but I'm actually really happy he picked this up for me at Christmas, because like I said, I don't have any relationship focused kind of deck, and for readings, for others especially, it's something that I think you get asked a lot. And so it's nice to have an oracle deck that you can use purely for that. So here it's very simple. Déjà vu, it means like you've been there before. This one is distance, speaks for itself, listening, stability, peacefulness, intimacy, opposition, decision, absence, treachery, like this is like missing someone, love at first sight, or coup de cœur as we say in French, toxicity. You see, it just speaks for itself. Unity, it's one of those, you see the image, it speaks for itself. I think you would all really enjoy it, especially for all of my people watching who do a lot of readings, whether you do phone readings, online readings, video readings, pick a card readings, like love and relationships. It's just one of those things that people want to know about all the time. So it's nice to have a little oracle deck that focuses on that. Two more decks from Christmas, and both of them again are from my dad. I think the fact that he was in France, he saw a lot more decks than are available here, and he decided to pick a couple of them for me. They were a complete surprise. I didn't even know what they were. I discovered them under the Christmas tree. Oracle of Sacred Creators, but the French version. So I feel like a lot of you will know this deck. It's by Chrisanne. It exists in English, obviously. It's been existing for many years, and now I didn't even know that there was a French translation, but that's the one that my dad got, that he obviously found in like the bookshop or something when he was in France. And like I said, I didn't even know this deck had been translated, but I'm so glad that he picked this up, because this was one of those actually that I was considering getting in English, but the fact that it comes out in French, it's even easier for me now. So if you don't know this deck, it's dedicated to creativity, sparking something in you, entrepreneurial vibes, also like starting a project, starting a creative project, nurturing your passion. It's called the Sacred Creator Oracle, so it's all about creating something and nurturing that inner passion. And the images are super simple. It's literally just one of those watercolor backgrounds and one sentence, but it works. I can't really explain what it is about this deck that works. For like the whole beginning of January, I felt really low, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have a good time. My friends came to visit me, we had such a good time, but when they left, I had this huge like hell setback because of me pushing myself more when they were here, and so I was in so much pain. I had to go to the doctor all the time, and I had to have emergency appointment all the time. It was just a shit time, and so that meant that I had, for the majority of January, not much will to use tarot. And you've seen I've got so many new decks. I should have been excited to use them and play with them, and I did. For December I used decks a lot, but January I was having a bit of a tarot slump, and this was the only deck I used for the big first part of January, and it was wonderful. Like, it was exactly what I needed. One sentence, just sometimes just reading that, not even reading the guidebook. It was perfect for exactly that moment when you just feel overwhelmed, your mental health is not in the best place, and you just need a little pick-me-up without feeling overwhelmed by too much information. Now, the guidebook is wonderful. If you don't know Chris Sam's work, usually her guidebooks are really well written. She gives you above and beyond things, like you have keywords, you have reverse keywords, you have a message, and then you have questions to journal or to create your spread. I think she has a website where you can get meditation. There's just a lot. So I'm so grateful for this deck to accompany me during my tarot slump, my life slump, that I had this little wobble during January. I'm so grateful for my dad to pick it up, even though like he didn't know anything about it. My dad doesn't even read cards, right? He knows I like tarot, and so he just gets me things that he think I like, but he has no clue, bless him. He just picks whatever he sees on the front of the shop, right? So for him to actually be drawn to that, it was just really sweet and special. So I'm really grateful I got this one for Christmas. And I'm definitely now getting out of my tarot slump. Like I was saying, the Joe Sparrow tarot has been one that I feel super happy at playing with again, and the Italian decks and stuff I'm excited to explore. So I feel the creativity and the spark coming back, and of course that is also coming with the fact that I'm feeling better health-wise. But sometimes you just have to give yourself time off, and that's okay. And you know, so if you're in that space right now where you don't feel like doing anything apart from wallowing, it's okay. You're not alone. We've all been there. Give yourself the time, and it's just gonna come off naturally, that slowly but surely you come out of it. You just have to be gentle with yourself. For Christmas, little deck that I think in English you get from Los Scarabeo. For us in French, it's by Intuitive Edition, and it's called the Tarot Surrealist, or in English, I know again that it exists, it's called the Surrealist Tarot. Again, this one I never thought I would own. I've seen one walkthrough of it when it came out, or I've seen a few pictures, and I thought, oh, this is really cool, but it just wasn't one that necessarily called to me. I never went further than that and actually did research on this deck more. Here are the backs, by the way. But so it was a huge surprise again when my dad decided to gift this to me for Christmas, because I never thought I would own it. And this is absolutely bonkers. This is the craziest deck I own. I thought that the Tarot Cosmic that I have, that came out in the 70s, was my most bonkers deck, or the Dali Tarot, which I also have. Oh, there he is. Hi! I thought they would be my most bonkers deck. No. This is it. This feels like you've taken something illegal and you're on a trip. You're waiting to come down. But in the meantime, you are traveling the liminal spaces of the universe, meeting gods and guardians and demons and entities, and you're just being there like mind blown constantly. Realist is truly the term. I mean, it's inspired by the surrealist artists, mainly French artists. All of those French artists such as René Magritte and Paul Éluard and André Breton that were part of the surrealist movement and the Dada movement. And then we have Dali and all of those big artistic influences that as a French person I was very much introduced to at an early age. Like, those are things we learned at school. To see it inspire this deck is really cool, but it's also like completely mad, to the point where I don't know yet if I'll be able to read with this deck as a tarot, or if I'm just gonna chop the borders off and make an oracle out of it, because I love the images and I think they're so powerful and so unique, but I don't know yet if I can read it as a tarot or if I should just free myself. I feel like the surrealist would approve of that too, to cut off the borders and free myself from any constrictions and make it into an oracle. I don't know yet. Let me know if you have this deck. How do you use it? Do you use it as a tarot? Do you use it as an oracle? Do you use it as for meditation? Or do you do actual readings with it? Or is it more like a starting point for writing? Or how do you use this deck? Because it's very unique. There's something about it also that is super fascinating, and I can't wait to explore this. I think this would be great for dream work, because dreams feel a bit like this, right? Sometimes dreams are completely wild and bonkers, and so I think this could be great for dream interpretation. Okay, we are nearly at the end. I've got 2 more decks I want to mention, and that's it. So I hope you've been enjoying this epic tarot haul. There's a lot of decks, so hopefully you're still with me and you're still enjoying seeing all of them. The next two and last decks I want to mention have been kindly sent me by the creators of them, so those decks I got for free, so I want to be very open about that, but I'm very grateful that I received them, and I've already been using one of them like for my daily draws. And those are two French decks that I want to introduce you. We have Le Petit Oracle de la Fée Morgane and Message de Guérison de l'Égypte Ancienne. Both of them are by Claire Duval, which is a very famous French creator in terms of tarot and oracle decks. She has a channel here on YouTube. I will leave the link to her channel below. If you are French and you're not watching Claire, what are you doing? You're missing out immensely. Claire has a wonderful channel where she shares about her decks, but also she does reviews of other people's decks. She does vlogs where she shares about all her research, because she does a lot of research in terms of history, mythology, magic, there's psychology. Like, she's just a very inspiring and intelligent person, and she's the creator of quite a few decks, and I've been following her work for many years now. So when she got in touch and she offered to send me a couple of her decks, I was like, yes, absolutely. I would love that, because I've been watching her channel for years, even before I started making videos of my own. So the first one, so let's start with this and we'll finish with this one, which is one I've been using a lot, and this one will definitely appear in my next monthly favorites, but I'm planning to use it for the month of February. So it's called Le Petit Oracle de la Fée Morgane, literally translates to the small oracle of Morgana the Fée. I think that's how you call her, Morgane le Fée in English. Claire works a lot with Arthurian stories, and the story of Arthur and the story of Avalon and Merlin and Morgane le Fay and all of that. And she's actually working on a tarot deck dedicated to the Arthurian myth, and it's going to be illustrated by Arthurian. So I am so excited because this is a power combo. Like Claire is just a wonderful writer, and she does so much research, and then Arthurian's artwork, which is wonderful. Like, one of her last deck was literally sold out, and it's now going for crazy prices, like the Earthbone, whatever it's called. So can you imagine the combo of the two? I can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyway, so this is inspired by Morgane le Fay, and one of those little decks that all the backs are the same and the messages are on the front. So the way that you would use those particular little decks is you open the box like this, you close your eyes, take a deep breath, think about connecting with Morgane le Fay as an archetype and ask her for advice. So you focus on your question, and or maybe it's like energy of the day, put your hand on it, pick a card and draw it. And so for today we have Camelot, and it says, sometimes it is good to rely on the structures that other people have built. You don't have to control everything, to reinvent everything. You can also trust. I love that, actually. I love that very much, and I think I needed to hear that today, so that's funny how that works out, right? Obviously this is in French, but the messages are literally three lines worth, and so I think they would be super easy to translate. Each card represents a different archetypes or facets of the Arthurian myth. So here we have the Avalon Mist, here we have Lancelot, here we have the Val of No Coming Back. I don't know how you call that in English. Don't kill me, don't cancel me, please. I don't know, my Arthurian super fan. What is that called? The Val of No Coming Back. I don't know. And then there's a few art, because Morgane le Fay was known for being very linked to the arts, right? So there's the art of metamorphosis, the art of mental strength. There's also moon phases, so there's a new moon, the full moon. There are objects or like archetypes linked to the Avalon myth. So we have the sword here, it's like the little boat. We have the raven, there's animals, the raven, the wolf, the white stag. There's some plants here. We have Avalon Isle, the art of healing, the art of poison, the art of magic, the sacred source, the forbidden, the witch. So as you can see, every card represents a part of this particular myth, of those stories. Every card gives you like a little message, something that will either you can carry on with your day, or that you can start to think about. Maybe you can start to create a tarot spread based on this particular thing, or maybe you just put it as a bookmark and every time you open your book you think about it. Maybe you can carry it in your wallet. Like, it's one of those, they can act as messages or as talisman, so you can carry that particular energy with you. Let's pull one more, see if we, what do my people watching need to know for today. And we have the sacred apple tree. Imagine the sacred apple tree from the Avalon Isle. Bite into one of its fruit and visualize the abundance that's coming into your life. Be very precise in your representation, and that will activate its magic. So let's say you want to bring in more abundance into your life. You could use this card, put it into your wallet, carry it with you. Every time you open your wallet, you think about that delicious apple bringing you abundance. There's so many ways to work with those little decks, and I think they're really versatile. So I'm gonna actually use this for February, but the deck I've been using the most since I've received those decks is this particular one, which is called Message de guérison de l'Égypte ancienne, from Claire again, the writing, and the illustrations are from Celia Melville. I think a lot of you will know her because she has quite a few indie decks that are very popular even for my English speaking peeps, like the Boo Tarot, the Tarot Renard. Very talented illustrator. So those two are mass market French decks, by the way. If I didn't say, you can find them on amazon.fr. And this one is dedicated to ancient Egypt. It literally translates to messages of healing from ancient Egypt. So the box already is beautiful. There's golden, and the side looks like papyrus, so that's really cool. And it's a similar concept in the sense that on each card you're gonna have your message, so there isn't actually a guidebook or anything like that. And here we have Claire, by the way. Here is a lovely Claire, and here we have Celia, both super talented women French creators. First off, can we speak about those backs? They're just so beautiful, and it's landscape, which I love because for my daily card pulls, especially if I'm doing them, I don't always do them, but if I do them, I like to put them on a card stand, and I find that landscapes hold so much better than a portrait was, so I love that so much. It's golden edge, and then on every single card we have an archetype linked to ancient Egypt, and an image, a text that is written by Claire, and an image that was drawn by Celia. This has been an absolute joy to use since I've received it, and I've only received it towards the end of January, but I'm already implementing it in my practice for daily draws, and it's just super powerful and super on point. Like, this is exactly what you need to hear at the moment you need to hear it. It's a similar concept as the other one in the sense that every single card represents an archetype or a god or an object that is linked to in this case Egyptian culture. So here we have, for example, the date tree. Here we have the crying priestesses and the power of tears, the head of the snake, the amulet in cornelian, the three pyramids alignment, the sphinx, the mystery, the sarcophage, I don't know how you say that in English. Here we have Mut, the vulture goddess. We have Keper, the scarab, the desert, the hidden life. We have seasons too, so this is the harvest season. We have Nut, which is my favorite Egyptian goddess. She is the goddess of the sky. We have the papyrus, the transmission. We have animals too, so there's the gods, goddesses, animals, objects, all linked to the Egyptian culture, Egyptian story, etc. Here we have Ray. So there's a lot of research that has been put into this deck. I believe when I was watching Claire's video, she said she actually went to Egypt to do a lot of research. So I really appreciate that. Even though the texts are very small, they are impactful, and you can tell that a lot of research went into it. So, for example, let me pick you a card of the day. Again, the messages are in French, but I totally think you could translate them very, very, very easily because they're very short. You can use Google Translate as an app, scan your card, and there is your message. And for my lovers of Egyptian lore, Egyptian culture, Egyptian mythology, you're gonna love this because you probably already have your own associations with those gods, those animals, etc. anyway. So it's gonna be super versatile for you to use this kind of deck. Like for me, I have my own associations with certain gods and goddesses already, for example, so I think you would really enjoy this. Anyway, let's pick a card. Oop. And we have We have Geb, who is the god of the earth, and it says, across my creations, plants and stones, I offer my help to heal you, to help you grow and develop the sacred within you. Beautiful. Every single day I've been pulling a card and it's been feeling like a balm for my soul, really, like exactly what I need to hear. So I've been really enjoying this one so much. I'm so grateful to Claire for sending those to me, and I of course will be talking about them in my upcoming decks, the French deck series, where I share all of my French decks and I tell you like how easy they are to use. I think those two, honestly, very easy to use even if you don't speak French, and they're both on themes that I know a lot of you love, whether it's Arthurian myth or Egyptian mythology. I know there's a lot of us out there who enjoy those particular themes. So my friends, this is it. There was a lot of decks shown: mass market, indie, oracle, tarot. There was some decks I bought myself, some gifts. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of it. Let me know in the comments the decks you've been enjoying lately, what decks you've been using. We can have a chat about it. I would love to know. I love chatting with you in the comments. If you've made it this far, leave a little scarab emoji. It will let me know you've made it to the end, and it's honestly gonna make my day. So thank you so much. Until my next video, I'm sending you so much good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye.